I'm going to name a character that is at least confirmed for Endgame, or was confirmed for Infinity War. Let's take those two movies. I'm going to say a character, whether he or she has been dusted, or they're currently alive.
Okay.
I want y'all to say, by the end of Endgame, what's their status?
Like dead?
Like, not dead. Okay, yes. So I will say a dead character. But it's Marvel. There is no dead characters. Characters come back. No such thing as a dead character.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw out a character. You tell me at the end of Endgame, deceased, gone, alive, healthy, in pieces, whatever. Give me a phrase. Just give me one phrase to describe it, and briefly touch on it. So let's start.
Go.
Let's start randomly here. Let's jump into Black Panther. Seeing we got let's start with Kareem. Black Panther.
That's a tough one, man. There's some stipulations that come in there unless they go back in the time, which we're not going to get into. I believe he may be in there.
Time.
That's for another time. I say no.
Deceased?
Not deceased, but won't make an appearance in Endgame.
Okay. So in Endgame,
as an alive character.
Okay, so no Black Panther at all. You won't.
No, I'm not going into specific stipulations, but I'm saying as an Avenger in Endgame fighting.
Okay.
He won't be in there.
Okay, Robbie.
I think you see him come back resurrected.
So there's a resurrection aspect, and he will be a part of it.
Yes.
As much as I love Black Panther,
yes,
I hate to have said that, but that's how I feel.
Speaking out of the comic book world and into the financial world, there's no way Black Panther is staying dead. You do not have $1 billion movie and then kill your character. So that one's a little unfair.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to Spider-Man. Old Peter Parker.
I'm saying coming back, resurrected.
Resurrected in some aspect. He is alive and well and living back in Queens.
Only because you're getting far from home.
Yeah. Taking that aside, yes, I think for that matter he has to be brought back.
It's difficult because we did see a trailer for Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the Endgame coming out. So if Endgame would have came out first, I'm going to have to say that he's in it.
I kind of almost didn't want to see the
I'm going to say that Spider-Man is in Endgame. Mark my words, worth HGX, 3VG. He's in it.
Endgame, Spider-Man confirmed. You heard it here first. Or you didn't. Alright.
Vision. Does Vision come back? Ooh.
Okay, I'll throw my hat in on this one. Vision. I think Vision comes back, but not as Vision. I think Vision comes back as part of Tony's suit, or Tony's programs, or whatever.
Jarvis?
Yes, I think Tony. I was trying to think of the name. I couldn't freaking spit it out. Jarvis. That's what I was getting at. I think Vision, whatever part of Vision is returned back to Jarvis. I don't know the technicality of how to do that, but I think that's a good way to at least keep the character to a degree. And Vision's a really powerful character, so it's hard to have him in the mix there. Not to say they couldn't do anything with him, and he also has him and Scarlet Witch have a show on. It's going to be happening on Disney.
So you're saying that he's going to be an Endgame in some shape or form or fashion?
I believe he will. Yes, okay. Maybe not the physical embodiment of Vision, but the at least vocal version.
Vision? Yeah, I think he comes back.
And it has to be as thorough as my answer. I need you to talk.
Not a yes or no. You have to give me a paragraph.
I need you to talk for 45 seconds. There you go.
All right. I do think Jarvis or Vision does come back, but he either comes back as Jarvis, or he somehow finds a way to get the stone back in him and stays as Vision.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, like the returning of the Mind Stone.
Yes.
Okay. That goes apart to another theory that I have, but I'll leave that one alive for a second. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit.
I got one for you. Gamora. Because we all know what's happening with Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
Ooh. I think Gamora is going to be one of the few characters that will remain deceased. Maybe get a little bit more closure to her story in some capacity, but I don't think we see Gamora, Guardians 3, back up alive like nothing happened. I think her death was very necessary. It was necessary in getting the stone. It was necessary for bringing out a little bit of humanity in Thanos. So that would be a way to cheapen that death to somehow resurrect her. I think that death needs to stay. As much as I love Gamora, I think that death needs to be final.
Okay, so she's dead.
I think she's dead. Yes.
I think she's dead too, man. That's part 2. Dead too. I think they reference her in some way.
Yeah.
She gets referenced. She gets a scene in there, but she's dead. It's a past scene or something like that. But she's dead. She's gone.
And I think that'll be maybe a big part of Guardians 3 is Star-Lord, that having a residual effect on him. Because he never got a real chance to mourn her death or fully embrace it. You got to realize when he found out that she was dead, it was a battle that he went through, and then he dusted shortly after that. So he never even got kind of like a cool down time. So I think that'll play a part for Star-Lord. So, but no, I say dead. Absolutely.
Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier.
Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. Okay.
Classic Bucky.
So he was the first one to dust. So he has that distinction. And also I think he was the one I'm glad they made him dust first because that has the most impact on Steve Rogers. Like he had to see him dust. And that was Bucky's last words was Steve. So I think his dusting is definitely emotional. Permanent, no. I think there's still a lot more they could do with him. I think he's a great character. He works well in the universe. He's realistic enough. You at least buy him enough. So no, I think he finds a way to make it back. I don't know the circumstances, but I don't believe he's dead. I don't believe he's deceased. He will come back in some capacity.
As much as I love Captain America, he's been in so many films in the MCU already. Mm-hmm. Basically, almost every one of them. Not every one of them, but you know what I mean.
Most of them.
Yeah. I think this is the movie where he sacrifices his life for that. He's always sacrificed his life, but this is that one moment, that greater good moment where he goes all in. And this is the last time we'll see Captain America. It's called Endgame. It's going to be Endgame for someone. Someone's going to die in this movie that we cherish and love. I don't believe it's Iron Man. I think Iron Man's going to stick around, man. I do believe Cap is gone.
Bucky is going to become the new Iron Man then?
I don't even know if Bucky's going to return. I'm just saying, as far as this particular question...
Is Bucky's going to become the new Captain America, not Iron Man? Or maybe the Iron Man.
The mantle might be passed on to someone else. As far as the MCU, we know what the comics always say. You know, he's dead, he comes back, whatever. But this Captain America last movie will be Endgame.
Okay.
This is where he dies.
I got one more for you. Groot.
Oh, we're going to see Groot again.
Here's one thing that might get you.
Okay.
Do you remember when the Stormbreaker... Remember when Groot put his arm and he made Stormbreaker, put the pieces together? He chopped his arm off. Groot disappeared. He's gone. But he's still here in some form. He is the axe to Stormbreaker.
I've heard that
theory. Tree, get the handle!
I've heard that theory before. You kind of get into kind of muddy waters there because you're kind of like, okay, so what exactly is Groot now? Is Groot now the handle? So was he the handle and he was Groot? Like when they landed on Wakanda, is there now two Groots? Because technically he's the handle.
Well, what I'm saying is there's a piece of him that's still around that you could forge and make him back again.
Is it? Because we did not see the hammer or the axe after the snap.
Yeah, you did.
You see it fall out of Thanos, but you don't see what happens to it whenever people start disappearing.
That's a good question. Did the handle Stormbreaker dust too?
But we did see the newly released Marvel footage of Endgame, and the artwork, and Thor is holding the Stormbreaker. And you see the wooden handles.
Ooh, that might be a continuity error. Just throwing that out there. If Groot has dusted, technically the handle should have dusted too. That is Groot. Like, so he should have been holding the Stormbreaker and it falls off and it dusts. Just throwing that out there. That could be a big plot hole that I don't think anyone's thought of. If Groot is dusted, technically his handle should have dusted.
It came from me. That came from us. It's a team effort. It came from us.
Three Village Geek exclusive right there. Should the handle have dusted? I say yes.
Comment below and tell us what you think.
So, let's throw out a few more. Let's maybe go 2 more Endgame casualties. It's a big that's a big cast. I don't want to talk about every single one of them. Okay, just since we're on the topic, since he may be my favorite character, what's Hawkeye's status at the end? / Clint Barton / Ronan. Even though, by the way, side note, I don't think they're ever going to call him Ronan in the movie. Just throwing that out there. I don't think that name will ever pop up.
Why don't you think it will?
Because, one, I don't think there's a need to explain the title. I don't think there's a need to explain that mantle. I just think this will be Clint Barton in a different form. He's going away from his Hawkeye identity and just moving on to this identity as someone who uses a sword more than a bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. I don't think that new identity has to come with a name and has to come with a mantle or a backstory. For the movie's sake. If we're just talking about Endgame, I don't think that's necessary. So just throwing that out there, I don't think Ronan is ever going to be mentioned in Endgame. I could be completely wrong, but I'm never wrong. So it will not be mentioned. Status at the end, Morton, Hawkeye, Clint Barton.
Alive.
Endgame.
Alive and reunited with possibly his family.
Oh, he gets a happy ending, too.
Yes,
wow.
I'm giving him a happy ending.
Look at that. We're
I wish I could have got one of those.
We're off to a great start already. Okay, so what is Clint Barton's status at the end of Endgame?
Clint Barton is well and alive.
Mm-hmm.
He's killing the Chitauri. He's got that sword out. He's whipping. He's dipping. He's slicing. He's dicing. And he might pull out an arrow and...
Oh, he better.
I think he's alive.
All right. I think that's fair.
And I think he copied my haircut too. He cut the size of his hair and he got one of these.
I heard this online too. They're calling the new release footage they showed of him and the top is real long and then the sides are short. They're calling it like a lesbian cut. They're saying he's got a lesbian haircut. I'm like, one, that's so disrespectful to Clint. First of all, he's an Avenger. Don't tell him he's got a lesbian cut. And I disagree with that fully. I'm just throwing that out there. I heard that and I think that's so wrong. But no, I think alive and well, I think they might go somewhere with him.
Feminist comment below.
Yes.
Do you think that Clint Barton's family disappeared with the snap? Because there had to be something to trigger for him to, with the footage that you saw in the trailer with Endgame.
Yes, I think it's completely random if he is... Honestly, if the snap happened and his wife and children, newborn, were all alive and well, I don't think that Clint would be taking on the Yakuza somewhere overseas. Yeah. Like, he officially stated he's retired. He's home with his family. That's why he wasn't in Infinity War. So why they would bring him out for Endgame, that's got to be the reason. I think that would be the only reason that would bring him out of retirement.
Because Black Widow said it that him and Scott, Ant-Man, cut a deal with the government.
Right.
I think that, he was out doing his everyday thing and he came home.
Chopping wood.
He saw that dinner wasn't fully prepared. Mm-hmm. And he was really pissed at his wife. So he went out looking for her. He couldn't find her. And he was really mad that he couldn't get to eat dinner that night. And what he did was he went all the way to Japan or China. He found her with an Asian guy, and then he started just chopping up Asians.
You heard it here first. Hawkeye background on Endgame.
He will provide the comic relief from time to time.
Comment below. Do you think his wife finished dinner that night? He was pissed.
Oh boy, that's gonna blow up like crazy. We never really saw that angle. Okay, so we'll save the best for last. Last character at the end of Endgame, and this is the one I think most people are going to be discussing. Captain America, Steve Rogers. What is his status at the end of Endgame? Formidable Morton.
Dead
completely.
Dead completely.
Not dead in the sense that, his body drifted, not like at the end of Matrix, where like Neo was taken away. He's actually, we're going to see a fully deceased Captain America.
Yes.
God, that's horrible. Who wants to see that? That's horrible.
He's one of my favorite characters, man.
I think somehow he's going to sacrifice himself to stop Thanos and undo the snap. And I think he's going to die. I think he's going to save Tony, and he's going to be the one who sacrifices himself.
Really?
He's not going to make it. I've said that here earlier. He's not going to make it. I love Captain America. And this is where they draw the line for Endgame, right?
Doom and gloom.
Going to be a lot of tears in the movie theater on opening night. 3 hours of awesome footage. It's going to start off amazing. It's going to end almost like Infinity War left us. Infinity War left us in awe because the bad guy won. Good guys usually win.
Yeah.
So we're going to be ready for the next movie after that.
So,
But first comes Endgame.
Doom and Gloom, you're around here. I have different feelings on it. I think Captain America will be taken out of the MCU. That doesn't mean that he's going to be killed. I think he will be removed from the MCU to keep in their back pockets when they need to bring him back. What I mean by that is maybe I love the theory of him somehow going back in time to be with Agent Carter, with Peggy Carter. I love that idea because then he's in the past and he's safe, and years down the road they can bring him back.
But if he goes back in the past, he also alters the past, and therefore Agent 13, Sharon Carter, is never born.
Or it's like a Back to the Future thing where Agent 13 is now Roger's daughter.
Or he can go back and do something with the Tesseract, and then it's a snowball effect because you changed the future. So let's not get into that right now. That'd be for the next video, guys.
I'm just putting it out of my head. I don't like the idea of just saying Steve Rogers is dead at the end of Endgame. That's horrible.
Not dead. Dead.
Not just dead. Like, full on, that guy is in pieces.
Like, full on, 6 men carrying him in a casket. Salute. Buried in the ground.
Horrible.
Dead.
Alright. It might happen. I don't want to think about it happening, but it may happen, and I'm not emotionally ready for that. So that's why I'm glad it's going to be a couple months from now.